Greetings, everyone. I just want to say thank you to all the individuals who send me topics for us to discuss on a daily basis. If I was to go with those topics, I could have at least 2 videos per day. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the situation as it unfolds with Mutabaruka and Claude Sinclair. And for the person who sent me the link to watch Wayne Lonesome live video with Claude Sinclair yesterday, thank you very much. Now I'm going to say this from the very beginning, that Mutabaruka, Claude Sinclair, and Wayne Lonesome are three men that I admire, okay? That I also respect. There are times as a woman, we got to let the men go into these streets and duke it out. As a woman, my position is to just cry peace with my brethren, and they're all my brethren. I admire these men. These men are truth seekers. They are grassroots people who want fundamental change in our country and the various communities within that country. So Mutabaruka for 25 years was out here being politically incorrect. He was that front runner. He was the one who was coming out here and challenging the status quo and exposing certain things within the bureaucracy. He was a person who was most hated by a lot of people in Jamaica. You know, they would also always refer to him as the Rasta Barefoot Boy. And over time, as he continued with support of, the individuals who run the radio station where he was working, people who were so dedicated to the cause and believed in it so much that they were going to put funding behind him if he ever got challenged in court. There are people in Jamaica who used to call for them to fire him because of what he was saying. The upper echelon who didn't want to hear these kinds of conversations. So, through his poetry, through, his online or radio presence, having his show like, Cutting Edge and, Stepping Razor or, whatever he went to discuss, it would be raw, and a lot of time it would be offensive to a lot of people. Now, I have noticed a change in the way Muta speaks and the sort of things that you think Muta would usually jump on. He doesn't do that anymore. But I am saying for 25 years, you've been doing the work. And at this point in his life, when he's a senior, let's keep it real, he's a senior citizen. At this point, if he decides that he's going to taper it off after all that he's done and a lot of person disrespecting him, I don't have a problem with it. It would seem like he's slipping. It would seem that way, but listen, people, it is hard to do this body of work, and in your senior years, you get shown into some pauper house, as they would say in Jamaica. You just have to navigate your way in this shark infested water and be smart about it. So who knows? Muta might be very smart. Maybe he might say, listen, I did all my work. Now I want to retire. And these guys don't retire to go home and lay down. I'm saying he might just say, I'm going to step down boldly and gracefully. Now, in terms of his issue with Claude Sinclair and that chain, Muta need to rethink that, because as Wayne Lonesome has clearly shown, he was using this chain as a sort of prop to send his message, to deliver his story, and Claude Sinclair is doing the same thing. Now, Muta is correct when he said that is political. But listen, Muta, if you ever listen to this video, the personal is political. It is politics that they have used over the centuries to control and to dominate and to do whatever it is to our people. Okay, so if Claude Sinclair decided to put it around his neck and have Mark remove it, it is very symbolic. What he's asking for is freedom from political stronghold and political damage that is happening to the people in Jamaica. It is very poignant. It is very strong symbolism, as it is a strong symbolism when you use it on the stages to talk about your, freedom and breaking from it. Powerful body of work. So, the folks who are just on the surface kind of people, the people who major in the minor, they're going to get rid of your body of work. If you listen to these men, Wayne Lonesome and Claude Sinclair and Mutabaruka, they're not disrespecting each other. At least I didn't see that. The little clips that I saw. I hear no disrespect because Wayne Lonesome is the guy who will always come with the truth. And what he's doing is using truth from your own mouth. So when you're going to say things, you better make sure you can back it up, because when Wayne Lonesome does his research, he's bringing the story forward and it's going to come from your own mouth. And so when Wayne shows picture of Mutabaruka on stage in his chain and saying that this is a livelihood for him, he's not telling any lies. And so when Claude Sinclair, with the body of work that he's done, and listen, people, I know Claude Sinclair personal, and that man has been putting in the work. He is personally responsible for some of my deeper growth in my spirituality. He's the person who invited me to come to march in the Morant Bay, to sort of reinvent the work that Paul Bogle did, to give me a true sense of what our people really experienced and went through in the struggle for freedom. A luta continuum. This is stuff that I've learned. Claude Sinclair is one of those first YouTuber who was not ashamed to be associated to Jenny Wren. He's the first person. He read my poem on his platform as soon as my book was published. So listen, I have lots of respect and love for Claude Sinclair, and I'm making it very clear here. So I'm not taking any sides. I'm just saying I see how Claude Sinclair chose to use that chain as a metaphor around his neck, because that's what's happening to our people. The noose is tied around the neck. So even if it is political, who better to remove it than Mark? Mark is a Jamaican man. And if you want to look at him in terms of color, he's at least a descendant of, these ones who continue to have control. And he's not trying to show that he has control. He's just saying, well, he's going to be the next prime minister. And he's then shifting the banner to him. He's then giving him the power to do what is necessary to release this noose that is currently around the backs and the feet and the hands, the shackles per se. And some people might find that offensive, but people should be allowed to express themselves. The freedom of expression is very critical to our rights as citizens around the world, right? And so people can speak. We're all free to speak. That's what I'm doing now. And other folks are going to do that too. But I'm saying at the end of the day, as a Black woman, my job is to see and enjoy seeing these men come at it to reason in intellectual ways. These are strong persons. They're very intelligent people. And without them, we would know a lot of what's going on in Jamaica. Without them standing behind the story and, standing against the things or the status quo, because there's so many people in Jamaica who are afraid to do that. Claude doesn't have to do what he's doing. Muta didn't have to do what he's done. And, and Wayne Lonesome, of course, the original fireman in the street, challenging those who consider themselves to be powerful and exposing their lies. Big up yourself, Wayne Lonesome. Big up yourself, Claude Sinclair. We don't know your channel shows the type of work you've been doing all this time. Jenny is a big supporter, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm a big supporter of all three of these men. We might not like what we're hearing and seeing from Muta, But I don't blame him. I'm not going to lie. I don't blame him. Sometimes you put in the work and they don't appreciate you. It's in our community, it's hard to go out there and fight. So when you have a man like Claude Sinclair who never give up on his people, because you know me, there are times when I can't be bothered. When I speak and I feel like it's not going anywhere, I get mad and I cuss them. I don't really mean it. I love them. But, you know, people like Wayne Lonesome, he's not cussing them. He's not cussing the people who are poor in the inner city. He's cussing the people who do have the power to change things. And he's never going to be satisfied until he sees those change. Big up these men. All we can say is let's continue to support them. If we see, even if we saw division going on, which I didn't see, because they all clearly said that they respect and admired each other. I didn't hear Lonesome say anything negative about Muta except to say, Muta, who give you the chance to say you can and this man can't? He's saying Mutabaruka doesn't have monopoly on the way the chain is used, and Claude should be able to use it anyhow. I get the message. They are both distinct messages. I'm going to end again by saying the personal is political, so you can't separate those two. And politics is a big thing, you know, in terms of what goes on with changes. We need these individuals to understand that. Okay, so bless up yourself, everybody. Once again, let's continue to support our founding members. Some of these men, as I said, they're grassroots people doing the work, speaking against injustice. They're, you know, committed to equity and diversity. Hey, what is there to say except to bless them and to give them lend our support and let them argue and debate and come to some understanding. And at the end of the day, they're still brothers, they're still brethren. Remember that. These men are wise, they're strong, they're bold, they're brave, and they got my respect as a Black woman, because some of these Black men, I'm ashamed of them. So when I see guys coming out like these three, bless them up every time. Stay blessed, everyone.